Hello and welcome back to Rolex Play, where we roll dice and we play games. It's been a while since we last played. You've joined us for our Tuesday campaign, Threads of Chaos. It is session 19. We're almost at the 20 mark. We almost, as well, have a full house. We're just missing one person. Leonie is not here with us today, but apart from that, we have everyone here. So since it has been a while, I think we all kind of understand and remember how to play D&D. But if there's any issues trying to remember character sheets, that's going to be why, because it has been a month plus. But with all that said and done, we're just going to dive straight into it. So the party have found themselves in some other realm of shadows and demons, a place that has been a very treacherous area to navigate, and one that seems to almost border some realities where time and space don't seem to almost connect as one cohesive unit. As they've journeyed through this darkened shadow expanse that is known as the Shadowhand's Keep, reliving the past of some ancient entity, they have uncovered demons. They have fought said demons and have pushed them away. And in this large, what almost seems like a shadowy castle or shadowy building that has been long forgotten, there are these red, giant, swirling patterns that are embedded throughout the scenery, illuminating the space with a red aura. Some of the party members had sensed something coming from these portals, a sort of sentiment, a ethereal energy that is one built on emotion. And it all seems to be siphoning and pulling itself from these portals and further into this cave to where a larger building seems to be held. But as a fight has just been finished, the party stand very bloodied after a fireball was thrown their way and a few deadly hits as well in the fight. But they still stand and they still ready themselves on what to do next. As Helen looks at one of these portals and sees a room very familiar to her homestead. So this is where we're going to pick up. So you guys have just finished this fight that you had with these shadowy demonic entities. As you had slain each one of them, they had turned into a powder, a smoke, that then seemed to almost follow the same trail as this sentiment further into the cave and out of sight. But as you look around here, you have those three gates behind you where that skeleton head still stands, as well as on either side of you, huge swirling red patterns, some large, some smaller, each one almost a liquid that spins in a never-ending spiral towards its very center. On the other side, almost like a reflection of something that has form and purpose, a place, a location, somewhere in the world. You see through some of them and you can see almost fiery expanses, ones that are almost made completely out of stone and have no vegetation to them whatsoever, and others that seem more angelic, and others that are just kept within a room. And this is one that Helen currently looks at and has kind of gathered your attention so far. Helen, you see through this swirling portal a bedroom, the bedroom of your late father. You see the bed lying there on the side. The perspective of this swirling pattern, it seems to be almost like a frame, a painting on the wall, looking down at the large bed. And you can see a window just to the side of it, which has the expanse of the Fey realm, where you can see beautiful colours, but everything tinged in a slight red. There is no sound. There is no action at the moment. You guys are left to your own devices. What does everyone do? Who would like to act?
Well,
Helen still looks like.
Well, I wanted to just look around and
You go.
focus more on those spirals, like try to touch the like the border of the spiral or the end or the beginning more with the hands, and try using the detect magic just like to ascertain if it's like really portal or just like siphoning devices which siphon the emotions out of those places and into this like realm where we are currently at.
Sure. You look through. Are you looking through the same one that Helen is, or just anyone that's around?
More like from like which I think I exited one, or it was just normal portal.
Yes, you exited
Yes.
one of them.
Yeah, so I would like turn my gaze towards it and like and come closer,
Okay.
almost lick it.
Okay. You approach very close to the swirling red portal to your left. As you approach, you see what you kind of walked out from on the other side. You see this darkened cave-like surroundings with a pool of reddish liquid. The swirling pattern which you find yourself against, you place your hand in and your finger presses against it and creates like a wave. So you see that you part the water as it begins to swirl through. Your fingers push through it like it is liquid, like it is a jelly of some kind. And you feel like you could walk through it if you wanted to. There is something else that you notice. The kind of sickle, the curved blade that you'd found beneath at the very depth of the lake that you had fallen into, the lake of blood, you can feel it in your side almost humming slightly, as though it's shaking in unison with the same spiral that this portal is making. As soon as your finger entered, it almost created a distortion sound, which left the item to your side to jingle in a different way than it was before. So it catches your ear.
Can I try and take the sickle and try to like put from almost like a slice, or like to make a slice in motion, like almost like barely touching this surface of the spiral.
Sure.
Just like to see what will happen. Yeah.
You pull the blade out and begin to gesture it and almost follow the same rhythm or the same spiraling. As you do, bring it closer and closer, you can almost see that the water almost extends outwards, like a hand reaching for the blade. Not fully formed like an actual fingers, but like the water is meeting part way to touch the blade. Do you allow it to touch, or do you pull away?
I would allow, but I will let it touch, like the sharp point which was like reddish, right?
Yes.
So barely
you
touching, not like the whole blade, but barely like one small bit. So, and I will be ready to pull it like away if it will try to pull it in.
Okay. As you hold it there for a moment, the bit of liquid reaching out to touch the tip of the blade, there is a moment where your hand is beginning to shake even more, just from as they get closer and closer, like two magnets of opposite attractions kind of pushing and pulling against each other. At one point, you feel it touch, and the imagery on the other side, there's something odd that happens. I'd like you to roll an investigation check.
Just a normal roll, right?
Yeah.
19.
19. There's something odd. The general surroundings are as bleak as they are. There are elements of it that seem very old, untouched. This cave system which you had found yourself in and this lake, this body of water resides in, doesn't seem to get much motion. There's no fresh breeze coming through, there's no trees or anything to denote a time. Yet there are vines that raise out from the pool of water where this item which you carry by yourself was embedded in, and seems to almost create, as though itself was the center point. As soon as your blade touches the portal, there is a sense that everything just begins to move backwards. And you see as though time is almost reverting. You see the vines pulling back to the center of the pool. You see the pool of water itself losing that kind of irony smell and becoming slightly more blue in its hue, more transparent, and seeing more stone underneath.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, I would say. But I will pull back the blade and put it back on a belt so it won't, get in contact.
Okay.
Because I think it's enough for experiment. You kind of more or less get what it does, at least at those spiral portals.
Mm-hmm.
But
there is definitely a sense of this blade is somewhat attuned to these portals, but you're not sure in what sense yet. More investigation can probably help you determine.
I kind of gather that I need to identify it best.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
I don't have the components for it, but yeah, I will be more or less next to that. Yeah, I will step few steps back from that portal, and yeah, more or less look around and keep my gaze on the surroundings, so nothing will jam at us.
Sure. Anyone else want to do anything in this area? Helen?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of look around and just want to do like a quick check, like, is anything still moving? Do I need to shoot it extra dead?
You take a good look around. I'll ask you to roll a perception check at advantage. This will just be for everyone's sake.
Okay.
Rather than have everyone roll individually. Okay. Okay. The person with the observant feet.
Nice.
Okay. With that in mind, we'll stick with your passive, since that is higher.
Lovely.
You are looking around, and you see no movement. Everything is still. The only thing that seems to be moving at any sort of pace is the swirling portals, the patterns which follow. On occasion, you can see the odd movement in these portals, as though something moves past, perhaps an animal or a piece of terrain simply shifts, but no dangers, no presences make themselves aware. Nothing tries to walk in or out of these portals. As your eyes are kind of looking around and trained very keenly, you find your kind of eyes wandering more to the portal that has gathered your interest. And as you look through it, you can see that there seems to be a little bit of movement inside that one. You just see this kind of slight shift in the shadow. As you kind of turn to see a bit closer, you see dressed in kind of very loose kind of garments, somewhat of a housemaiden who is currently kind of preparing the bed, fluffing the pillows, moving the sheets, just very nonchalantly. You recognize this woman. She's part of the household. She's been there since you were very young. She's about in her 70s or so. She walks around, and you can see there is a small dolly by her side that she's kind of filling up with the things to change out. You see she kind of walks in front of you, and you see that she kind of looks up for a moment, and she stares directly at you. Oh. Oh, everything would have been so much better with you around. But oh well. Reminisce as we
Try
may.
and. Do I know what would be in that spot she's looking at?
I'd
Like,
say
what
so.
should be there?
Yeah, I'd say so. Um, you remembered there was a portrait that was done of your father, and that was placed there. It was a family portrait. It was one that had you, your father, um, and his newer wife, and her son. The four of you in one picture, and that was hung when the changes were made.
Can I try and mind link with her just to see if it works?
Okay.
Any creature you can see, provided it is within a number of feet to you equal to 10 times your level. So
Okay.
I don't know if it'd even work, because I don't know if that goes across planes through portals, but
Mhm. For this, I'll ask you to roll a spellcasting ability check for me. Your spellcasting is intelligence, so just an intelligence check.
okay, cool.
11. Okay. You look towards the portal. You try to link minds, but you don't know what it is. Perhaps this isn't as close as you think it is. Perhaps the distance between you and her is much further than the portal shows, and your mind cannot link. What would be the message that you do try and say?
Things may yet be well in Sylvan, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You say those out, but there's no response. You see, she kind of just takes a moment, and there's a creak behind the door, and she just kind of like looks over. I'm coming, don't worry, I'm nearly finished. And she just continues off and leaves the room empty.
I'm just gonna sit there and keep watching, just like studying every inch of the room.
Mm-hmm. Roll a
Probably.
investigation check for me.
Do, 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 do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my passive's 22.
Unfortunately, not. I'll allow it for certain things.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, as you actively try to investigate, you begin to notice the finer details in the room. You can see that it's fairly clean, well looked after. The maids have done a good job. You can see just by kind of the corner of your eye, the stand by the bed. With a 14, I'd say it's not too easy to discern, but because of the arrangement and your knowledge, you see that there is one space in the bed that seems to have a slight divot. A large king queen size bed. It does seem to only sleep one person as of now. One fluff of pillows. One side of the bedstand is filled with kind of knickknacks, keepsakes, jewelry. One thing I'd say you would notice with a 14 is the light changes. Before, when you had looked at this painting, this vision, this whatever this would be called, a portal, you had seen clearly that it was daytime and it was just morning, the cusp of dawn. Now, as you kind of look back, you can see it is dark. It's pitch black outside. There are a few lights of the street, and that is it. The room itself, also dark and cold. but there's no one in the bed. It does seem like there has been a change in time.
In the room, can I just kind of look around? Is there like a desk in the room or anything?
Yeah, there is. There is one just located underneath this painting. Small little study. So if you were to kind of think about it this way, if you wanted to walk down, there is like a tiered steps. But there is a small desk there with a table, chairs, and there is the window beside it as well.
She'd just kind of sit there while everyone else is doing whatever they're doing and just start casting like minor illusion and basically replaying like memories she has of her parents kind of sitting at the desk and writing and like she's kind of manufacturing ghosts, but
Yeah.
kind of watching.
Sure thing. What does everyone else do? Arne, Marie, anything you guys want to do?
You guys are muted if you're talking.
Yeah. I assumed Arne was trying to speak because he unmuted himself on Discord, but the thing with him is it's always muted. Poor guy.
I do not understand. I can't remember double muting myself. I do remember muting myself on Discord, but not via my headphones. It is a mystery. I have no recollection of that. Anyway. Yeah, so I'd like to do two things. One, I would like to cast a Prayer of Healing.
Okay.
To
Very much needed.
Yes. I just made the executive decision that we had too little HP. So that's 2d8 plus 5 of healing after 10 minutes passed, I think.
Yeah, so it's what's the actual description of the spell? Does everyone heal by that amount? I think it's like an overtime thing. So I think because you guys are so low level, I think that will like fully heal you. But just remind us of the spell, because I do forget.
Up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range regain hit points equal to 2d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, and it takes 10 minutes to cast. It says.
Okay.
And has 30 feet range.
But they heal every minute, no? For the 10 minutes?
It's just after 10 minutes.
No, that's a different spell.
It's the second level.
It just does what it says.
Alright, sure. Then roll and we can get everyone healed up. Because you do spend at least 10 minutes here.
Awesome.
Healing spirit.
I'm amazing at those.
That's
anyway,
what I was
that's
thinking.
10 HP.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
Fuck you, Ilya. You know why I know it. Last campaign, you son of a bitch. Okay, cool. So everyone heals at 10?
Yep.
Do you know what we'll do? Arne, we'll also, whenever you cast a healing spell with your +1, we'll also add that to the healing as well. So, so that's going to be 11 to everyone.
Like everyone or just?
I think that's everyone. Yeah, 6.
Yep.
Up to 6. So.
Up to 6 creatures and 30 feet range.
Yeah, so everyone gets up.
Okay. So yeah, that's the
unless you don't want it, Ilya.
I do want my missing 2 HP. Like, sure.
Ah, here we go. Okay, target Ilya in next combat. Got it. Okay.
Helen and Cal now have 26 HP between them. Improvements. Ooh.
Also,
Excellent.
the second thing I'd like to do, my homebrew channel divinity imbued tools lets me magic an object for a while, and one lets me ward off a creature type from entering. Now that's designed for doors and such.
Yes.
Can I like take a rope and lay it down in a circle.
I'll allow it.
All right, I'll do that because I really do not want fiends around.
All right, so you just begin to pull out this long rope, bring
Oh, wait.
everyone into one
Wait,
space.
I think I got a silver chain for more style points. Yeah, I got 20 meters of silver chain. I'll do it with that.
Fucking hell. Okay. He's styling. Okay, so you create this ring. Are you putting everyone inside of it now, or are you just creating it as a
Yeah,
space?
while I create it, I'll inform everyone that I'm laying this out. So, like, when a fiend or something shadowy approaches, hop in.
Wait,
Okay,
are
cool.
you going to drag it with you, or?
I don't know if I can move it. I just want to
No.
make a sanctuary over here.
It will be
Yeah.
a fixed point in place.
But we need to like move further where the shadows like disappeared.
Although
Maybe.
if I actually did bless a door or any of the sort, can't we just have 4 doors, arrange us in a square, and then take those with us? Like, it does bless the object.
It is a singular object.
Yeah, but I can make it permanent with enough time. So that's something for later.
Basically, what you're talking about is a pillow fort, Arne.
Yes.
That's exactly what it's to fend off against demons. You want to create
Yes.
a pillow fort. Are you 2 years old? I will allow it. All right. So you pull out this chain. You create this circle. As you begin this prayer to basically ward off any of these fiendish entities, there is a moment you've kind of struggled to have that connection with Moradin in this space. But you find that spark inside of you, and almost like lighting a campfire where you are hitting the stone with your flint just to try and create a almost spark to illuminate. You struggle and struggle and struggle, and it's just this kind of perseverance that is inside you that allows this light to then shine. This almost hot bubble of divine energy begins to wrap around where the chain has been left on the ground and creates this dome. Faint light, barely noticeable, but as soon as you step into it, you feel that connection to Moradin stronger than it was before. This bubble, this area of protection that you've made for yourself, has a stronger divine presence now that you've basically opened the doorway for him.
Yeah, I'd like to shoot up a thankful prayer to Moradin while the rest is doing whatever the rest is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to side eye if I like notice something like this, like in the vicinity, just side eye what's happened, and looking not very pleased that some doorways opened for some divinity, but if I understand it, of course. But if not, it's no big deal. And I just like not shout, but just like throw it into the air. I think we forgetting something. Like we came here for the specific reason. We move further and pursue those shadows before they regain their physical bodies and give us another warm welcome.
Well, this ward should keep them out for now, if we want to take a breather, but I agree. We should proceed.
Well, I'm more interested.
Helen would just kind of look between like herself and Cal and go, yeah, I mean, we're a bit better than we were before, but still a little dicey. I mean, if they're as strong as they were earlier, especially that coster, it's closer than I'd like to be.
Oh, I
If
can.
we're getting into another fight.
You still need some healing. I can heal you, of course. It's no problem, but I rather find the exit of this place. Up to you. If you need some healing, I can provide it. No problems. But do you decide?
Whatever spell
Helen
you
will just
cast
kind of
now
look
for
around the room.
healing, we will miss dearly when we have another fight. So let's be careful, preserve ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't need any
I'm
healing, I gather.
Just like meta, I'm at both Cal and Helen are basically at quarter health.
Yeah, then I will throw two healing word, cure wounds at Jacob.
If you said healing word, that would just
I
be like the
wanted-
most.
I wanted, but I don't have
Take my
it.
healing.
Yeah.
Take my 1d4.
I wanted, but no, it's unfortunately cure wounds, so I will use twice at first level.
All right.
Yeah.
First one's for Helen. Next one's going to be for Cal.
Bastards. Okay, yeah.
While you're doing this, Helen would just kind of keep talking. If these really are portals, I mean, I know at least where this one goes, but to get from there back to where we were, it'd be weeks of walking. Even with horses, it'd be a while. Okay.
Well, I kind of miss my horse really dearly, so we need to find at least one.
Besides, one of our horses is where we came from, and the other's likely down the hall.
Yeah. So I mean, I miss dearly my pineapple.
I believe he has another name.
He was quite a good, partner for the conversations. He's quite intelligent, for a horse at least.
Oh. Well, you see, some things happened during your absence. We have some new information regarding a lot of things.
Is it urgent, or can we discuss it a bit later when we found the exits out of this place? I don't I feel like the
Ellen
walls
will-
are watching us.
I feel like it's very important, however, not to our immediate
I had
survival.
a very long conversation and would kind of just pat you on the shoulder and like look over in a how do we explain this one kind of way. If we look through the portals and maybe see if we can find something at least close to where we're going, I'm happy to keep moving, but we don't know what's down there. It could be anything. If we can find somewhere close and just leave through the portal, I honestly think it's smarter.
To be fair, you said it leads to your home or something like that?
Helen just nod.
The Feywild.
Yeah, but I'd at least know how to get us from there back to at least the material plane, unless someone recognizes other places in these portals. We can try our luck. Should at least have a look.
Wait, but as far as I understood, you propose to leave my pineapple here? No, it's not like what I can agree on,
I think Pineapple is probably back where we were. I don't think he came with us into this area.
Wait, but we were pulled, because we tried to lift the curse, and do you think he just returned? He was he was quite in a lot of pain, so I'm not sure if he is alright,
I think probably his soul went back to his body, because before, I think you guys as well, we were kind of seeing dreams? And now we're physically here, but he's not physically here, so he'd be back in his body.
I would like to make I don't know what check do I need to make, but I would try to make a logical, chain if like to check if what like Helen says is true. Like,
what
is
you're
it
asking
possible
me
at all?
for is a sanity check, and D&D 5e
Yeah.
doesn't really have that.
Yeah.
So
Something like
for
that.
this,
If it's
let's
someone tried to bullshit
make
me or not.
let's make a logic check. Let's do this will be a history check.
History.
Remembering all the times that Helen lied.
Natural.
Oh my god.
I mean, she's not lying. She's not lying, technically. She doesn't really know where he is, but she's not lying.
Yeah, that's
Ilya,
why I
She's
try to,
telling you the truth, but
Ilya, I feel like I should just send you my notes, dude. Like a Nat 20 history check is just like you get to read what I've written down. Read the script.
You can just like send me a part concerning the pineapple and what happened. And I remember you sent his new name. I forgot.
Yes, his new name is Kirill Shazad.
He just deduced the entire life story of Kirill.
Yeah.
You basically just watched the 2 episodes ago, pretty much. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You watched everything that happened there.
Helen's not lying. She's trying her hardest, and she's trying to be comforting, basically. She's telling you the truth. She also isn't quite sure, but she's not lying to you.
Seems to be a lot of confusion.
So, we should... Yeah. She'd just kind of start looking at some of the other portals and be like, I have not been many places in the material plane. Basically the places we've been to, and then a few others, so I can have a look, but I think we should all look just in case. It would turn to Cal and goes, you've been a lot of places. You should have a look. And kind of just
How about we
points
remember
Cal towards the nearest portal.
How
And
about we remember the portal which leads to your place and just like take a peek what's ahead of us, and if something is like nasty and dangerous, we can just run away and jump into it.
yeah. I'll take one of my crossbow bolts and kind of try to jam it into the ground in front of the portal that's the one.
I mean,
back
to be
of mine,
fair,
basically.
don't we have a glowing dome right next to that portal?
Yes.
Yeah,
You do
that's
now, yeah.
Yes.
why the
I feel like that's enough of a
marker.
landmark.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
One thing I will say is as you're still around
enough.
this portal in particular, I'd say because of the previous check that you made, Helen, you don't notice it. But for who has the next highest passive perception, I think it would be, yeah,
18.
not 18.
Yeah.
What's Arne's?
Give me a second. Where is this written?
Perception.
Well,
It
those
should be on your
brackets.
sheet, like just next to the ability.
Yeah, it should just be the base.
Okay,
10 plus.
15.
Okay, so yeah, it is Axon. Axon, you had previously seen that Helen was conjuring illusions to represent a time that she remembered. You'd also seen the room was dark. That hasn't changed, but as Helen's now distracted moving elsewhere, you notice that there is almost a swishing motion of air, and you now see there is a lump in the bed. There is a mound, as though someone is laying in it. Perhaps asleep. But they
Honestly,
are in there resting.
I don't know what to do with this information, Max. So yeah, I don't know what is the place.
I'm just telling you, dude.
It's
I'm just telling you what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I just like point to Helen. You see, there's someone sleeping. I don't know who it is. And it's yeah. I hope it's alright. And if we will jump into it, we will not land on the sleeping person. Otherwise, we might scare them to death. But
Helen like whips her head 180 degrees, very like creepy owl, just like turns her head without moving her body, and just like would lean in super close and have a look. Can I make out any features on this person?
Roll a perception check at disadvantage because you do not have dark vision. 14. You can see that there is a shape in the bed. The shape in the bed is slender. They're almost fully covered. But you can see that it's only one person in the bed. But it's not in the side that you had seen before. It seems to be on the opposite side, on the left-hand side. Now, your mind's beginning to think who could be in there. There's only a handful of people that it could be. And realistically speaking, there's probably only one person that it could be.
He like pulls the crossbow like up to the portal, like super close up to the portal, almost pointing through, and is just kind of aiming it.
As you have your crossbow out, there is a point where this more malicious side of you almost takes over, and you find yourself pushing through the portal, the tip of your bolt actually pushing through to the other side, pushing past the liquid portal. The rest of you see this happen.
Oh, my high temptation to use my sickle on it, but yeah.
Okay.
He's just
Go ahead.
like holding it, waiting. You can see as well she's like got her hand on the like firing bolt as if she's gonna like activate the she can't do it, but you can see she's like almost like she's trying to do the like blood maledict, like cursed, like magic kind of thing.
Or push Olrin towards the Helen and like point, yeah, come on, do something. You are moral compass, not me.
I try to like talk Helen, and gently try to nudge the crossbow out of the portal. I don't know what's in there, or why you're doing this, but we can't have more enemies right now.
She's just gonna kind of sit down and hold her spot and goes, I won't shoot, but I'm not moving until we find another portal. And is just kind of gonna sit down if people are gonna look at for other portals and just like keep the aim trained, just like staring at this person.
Okay.
As this is all happening, Olrin, your words ring out to Helen. As they do, you notice that in the bed there is a movement. You see a shift, and you see a head kind of pop out with one eye open, half squint, and you hear a male voice just kind of look out. Helen? Helen? Helen, you see your father laying in the bed. You see him half awake, looking around, confused, and as he kind of, where are you? Begins to look under the bed. You see he's up, beginning to crawl around a little bit. Are you under here? Kind of looking around the room, checks behind the curtains. No, not in there. But there! It begins to jump around, trying to find you. You see your father is alive and well. full of energy.
And he looks okay?
Yeah.
Can I just try and like reach through?
Sure. Axon, you standing idly by the side and keeping an eye out for the surroundings, you begin to notice that all of these portals around you, there's some stacked high, seemingly going on forever. You just see the kind of red dots above, like starlights. And also down further in this cave. And you begin to watch as they begin to flicker off. Each one begins to dim and no longer shine. They go quicker, racing downwards. Helen, which hand are you reaching out with?
Probably she would have, I guess her I'm trying to think. If she was reaching out towards to grab him, probably her dominant hand, so right hand, I guess.
Okay. You begin to reach
Very much like
out.
a kid just grabbing towards.
Yeah. You reach through, your fingers push through the red liquid, and you begin to kind of reach out further forward. You can see he's still looking around. Helen? Oh, maybe my mind's playing tricks on me again.
She'd start just talking in Sylvan, like babbling, basically saying like look up, I'm here, come get me, just like babble, like almost incoherently, just
I'm
like
noticing as
reaching
the
through.
portal's like closing. Can I just like pull her out of the portal like completely and push her back?
Sure, you can certainly try. Are you going to pull her away or push her in?
I don't think we would like. How fast it closing those portals? Like, would we be able to jump all like? Okay,
They're going fast.
I pull her away. Because
okay.
We might lose a limb if my theory about portals is correct.
How does Helen feel about being pulled away in this instance? Do you think
Not
she'd
good.
be?
She's gonna fight it. She's trying to get through.
Oh no. Okay, then this will be a contested athletics check from the two of you.
I'm still standing next to her. Do I also notice the closing portals?
I'll ask you to roll a perception check.
All right.
Can it be if this is a grapple, can it be acrobatics?
No, this would just be brute strength, so this is going to be your athletics, because he is trying to hold you tight and pull you to him. And you're going to try and fight it as well.
Do I get an advantage from Olrin?
Unfortunately, Olrin doesn't see this taking place. He does. If you want, Olrin, I'll give you the choice. You can either try and do something else to avoid this from happening, or you can give a guidance to Axon. He won't be able to get advantage because you weren't perceptive enough or in time to act in tandem. So what would you like to do?
All right, then I'd like to give advantage because my rolls can't be trusted.
Okay, so it's either guidance or something else. You can't give him an advantage. So you basically can't get there in time to help him and pull.
Yeah, what I mean is I would give him. What I mean is I give him guidance, because if I try something else and have to roll, that's a death sentence.
Understood. Okay.
I would not be so sure, Arne, you know. My athletics sucks, to be fair.
I just rolled a 5.
Ilya, you just rolled a natural 20. Just roll another one.
Yeah, easier for you to say. Okay, alright.
Oh my god!
I won!
Easy. Also, I gave you a 1 on top of that.
It's like the decisive one because I rolled exactly 16.
Oh,
You decided
my.
actually the fate of the limb.
Oh my god. So, Helen, you reach out, trying to call out to your father as you see him. He hears your voice, and as he begins to turn his head to you, you feel you are pulled back and away, and your eyes don't really meet. You just see the side of his face as the portal then completely closes. The swirling motion just completely pulls into a singular point and then disappears completely, just leaving this hollowed rock where it's etched and chiseled in different patterns. You're pulled back, and as you kind of land there on the ground, there is a kind of drop in your left hand as you find the crossbow falls to the ground. But you notice that the end of the crossbow bolt and part of the crossbow is actually completely gone. It's just almost been cut with the hottest blade and is no longer there. You assume, because of this, that you have been saved from losing a limb, an appendage. But yeah. Anything you wish to do?
She just kind of like turn around and realize, and she basically just immediately starts just like sobbing, just like would just basically sit down next to the wall and just start crying hysterically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know
From
it's
the... Go for it.
No, I just wanted to just... I know, like, look at the direction Helen. I know it's kind of terrifying that you might just, like, almost lost a limb. But it's not so bad. You at least have it, so don't worry so much, you know. It's alright, and the portals were more or less like windows in the past, perhaps. It's not kinda. I don't think it was a truly portals. Maybe a dreams. Who knows? So if you need a few minutes, yeah, you can catch up with us. I think would be somewhere here around.
From the 3 gates where you'd enter before, you just hear the voice of the gatekeeper, the skull that was there. Oh, this is not good. Not good at all. If the lights turn off, that's when they know there's someone here. So, I think the jig is up, friends. I think they know.
And I'm sorry, who are you?
Well, I can't really turn around. I'm stuck in this piece of stone. What am I supposed to say?
Your name, or who you were before you got stuck in
Oh, we've been through this before. I don't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember who I am or who I was. Oh, you've given me the name Nobby. I think I gave myself that name.
Perfect. And who are your masters, and where can we find them?
I'm just here as a punished, really. No masters. I just ensure this gate is well looked after. But if you want to see them, they're further in.
Then thank you for your information. And do you know, or do you remember why or for what crime were you punished so inquisitively.
Not sure. I think I was a teacher. Yes, that could be it. I was a teacher. The greatest of all time. Nah, that can't be it. I don't know anything. I don't know. Maybe ask them. Maybe they'll tell you.
Yeah, that's kind of sounds fair. Have fun and enjoy your stay, I think. I don't know. I hope your
Thanks.
sentence will come to an end sooner than later.
I've been here forever.
Yeah, but nothing lasts forever, so, sooner or later it will end.
Well, I hope so, because life is sad, and I wish it could end. Could you perhaps ask them to kill me?
Perhaps. We will see. Maybe they will kill us. Who knows?
Excellent.
We will join you, so you will not be so bored in your.
Oh, that would be great. I do miss having company. Off you go. Have fun.
You too. Thank you. And when I stay, and I just try to go deeper, and not quickly. So if anyone wants to do something else.
Okay. Is everyone continuing onwards, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently standing guard next to a crying Helen, so I'd assume I'd wait for Helen's decision.
Looking up at the wall where it was, are the markings that are left the same as other markings that are were left behind when the portals disappeared from the looks of it, or are they unique?
They all seem to be almost like cross hatch. Is it cross hatch? Where there's kind of like the indentations going in different directions. It's basically like random. Seems to be random, at least. It's hard to say if this is some sort of code or if this has some meaning, like a teleportation circle, perhaps.
But
they all just seem to
nothing
be
that she could see
scratches.
that she could copy down or anything. It's just
You
hash
could
markings.
attempt to, but because there's so many in different patterns, it would take a long time, and it's a large piece. It's about the size of a person, so to try and track it all down would be difficult. But you could attempt to. You would need some time, though.
Helen would just be trying to compose herself and just kind of look up, and her eyes are she's still just distraught, but just starts looking around and would just look up and just kind of looks like she doesn't know what is happening or what to do right now.
Yeah.
It gives you a very this is now your job, confused child in a supermarket type expression, and just basically keep staring at the wall.
Sure. All of you begin to notice from Helen's tears, they almost dissipate into steam, and these sentiments of sadness are the only things that are in the air. With all of these portals closed, there is no sense. There is nothing that flies ethereally through the skies. It is dark, hollow, and devoid of anything. Now, the only thing that fill this air is Helen's sadness that begins to filter through. None of you can see sentiment normally. Only certain few can, and all of you are seeing this very potent sadness, and as it filters down and through the cave, you all hear this almost mocking sound. Oh, why so sad? You just hear it further down the road ahead. There's no need to cry. Please. You start making me tear up. And I don't want to be sad. Please. Come join us. Let us cheer you up. Let us see a smile on that face. No tears today, please. My heart can't bear it.
Do any of us recognize this voice at all?
No, I wouldn't say so.
How about we find out and see what's they have to offer? Like I am kind of intrigued, I would say.
Well, with the portals closed, we are forced to. So
Yeah, so don't forget. Yeah, you cannot. But at least we have some sort of sanctuary, and I find that. Chain was it, or it's the rope? But yeah, the radiance and the barrier.
No. I'll leave it there for now. It will dissipate if I move it. But should we need to run away, at least we got some coverage.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So yeah. If like no one is against, I will go forward.
All right. Axon begins to lead the charge as the group of you begin to follow suit. The cave is dark, and at this point, continuing through, you can only see the shapes of those statues now. Amongst all of these kind of portals and red swirling patterns, your eyes were drawn to what was on the other side of them. One thing that now stands out more now, since the red is gone, is all of these grey statues around you. There are some embedded in the wall, some on slight overhangs above, all of them seemingly depicting somewhat of a humanoid trapped in a petrified state. All with different expressions across their faces, different actions, some wielding weapons, some not. Most of them don't have any weapons on them, but all seem to depict different people, different races from far and beyond. As you walk amongst all of them, that trail of sadness that continues to float its way through in front of you in this very kind of light blue sort of hue, it illuminates a tiny bit of the trail ahead, and it kind of guides you forward to where you're heading. As you continue and continue, Axon, you are ahead, and you notice that the trail of light continues into a doorway of sorts. Can you roll a perception check for me?
At 24.
Okay. You can see that this entrance, this doorway, is a part of a large, and I mean large, almost cathedral-y looking building. What was probably once large cylindrical pieces of gold and silvery metal have now been overlapped by shadow. And the shadow hasn't like torn it apart, it just seems to push through. Jagged pieces, round pieces, just bubble out of the side of this large building. And you notice as well, all of the stone, as previously mentioned by Olrin, is all carved and very well kept, as though enchanted almost by some sort of architect in the arcane. This area that you find yourself in, just in front of this beautiful looking cathedral, is a garden. a large open space which has now been filled with just shadows that rise and fall on top of each other. Statues that were once there, almost bobbling out these dark masses like tumors. You can also see the humanoid statues that do not have these shadows on them, the same ones that are depicted in the sides and above. Some have demonic wings, others have more angelic wings to them, all frozen in space. But with that 24 perception check, you can notice that few of these people have similar matching clothing. Some of these statues have very finely printed and pressed robes of some sort of arcane school and practice. Could you please roll a history check for me?
Another one. Would be fun. It would be another 20. It's 9.
This is not of a place of learning that you would know, but now you're beginning to almost put the two together. There are an extreme amount of these wizardly robes on several of these statued figures. All have an expression of fight. You can see almost kind of mid-spellcasting, some with blades drawn forward to places that are just empty. There's nothing there. Perhaps a fight had taken place, and these people are the remnants of that fight, a history long forgotten. But as well, there is a point of when this may have taken place. With what you've seen with time not being very lineal, you're not sure if this is a fight that has taken place, is taking place, or has taken place somewhere in the future. But you find yourself in between the aftermath. You don't recognize anything else outside of that, though, unfortunately. But something that you can basically confirm, these aren't people of the Fey realm. These aren't people that you would have known or heard about.
Yeah.
The sentiment that still carries in the air almost takes a turn. It continues further ahead, but there is a part of it that almost turns off and deviates to the right-hand side of the building. And because these sentiments are flowing from Helen, and both Olrin is there consoling her, you can see that where that ends, that offshoot of sentiment, you see there is a gathering of lights, and you can almost hear that same crying that you heard before. You're so sad.
But it's not mocking, it's just like sincere crying, right?
Perhaps.
But I cannot distinguish from the sounds if it's mocking or not.
It's hard to say.
I don't know. I kind of want to follow the main track, the main trace, but... So, up to you guys. If you want to meet this like future life, we can go sidetrack, but I don't think it will help us because I don't think it will help us reach the exit. We'll need to.
Doesn't seem friendly. We should just get out of here. She's just still looks a bit worse for wear, and is just kind of looking around, trying to find the quickest way out, basically, because that thing does not sound friendly.
I'm also not keen on meeting more residents.
It sounds sad, so I don't know, maybe we can cheer it up and it will help us in return, it might be also a possibility. Though I would admit that statues around here are kind of, yeah, I would say terrifying, but not so scary as like curious how those got here. Never seen that people around Feywild before, yet they are still here. So yeah, I'm willing to explore this place a bit more if you want, but if you don't, then let's continue towards the center.
Alright.
It's really unfair. I like as a player, I'm curious, but I also see the danger signs.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, but I mean, are we willing to
Okay.
cross some red lines or not? Come on, we need to risk it for a biscuit.
For a biscuit. How good's that biscuit, though?
No, we
I
are.
feel like
we're
this thing
not
is
in the
probably
Feywild.
gonna. I feel like this thing is probably gonna chase us, but like I honestly don't reckon we can like fight it. So it might be smart to move quickly and just kind of hope we can avoid it.
As I heard you are up for continuing avoiding that said creature, and then I will also join.
Okay. You continue straight ahead. You push past the sounds that it's making, the cries it makes. I would like the three of you just to roll a perception check.
Lovely.
Okay.
Right, that's not bad.
Someone has eyes or ears.
Axon and Orin, the two of you, just head down, continue ahead to avoid any sort of distractions. Helen, your curiosity just kind of perks as your ears kind of flicker for a moment. You almost hear through the crying, "Oh, the tears for father are so delicious." As you turn and look further down where the trail goes, and you can see this feminine form, but it's this kind of like ghostly light, almost as though their body is comprised of small fairy lights that are just completely encompassing and creating this spectre form. Long white hair, the form itself is mainly white, and you can see as that trail of blue light comes down to her, you see she's kind of pulling it to her and just eating it. You see she's pulling it down into her throat. You can see the tears running down her eyes as she begins to devour the sentiment as it follows.
Do I know of anything that does that?
You can roll a history check if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna
To be
do
fair,
that because that's
for once,
fucking...
I'm really glad that I did roll low on this.
She's gonna proceed to try her best to turn it down, put it in a box, put it in a box, put it in a
Because
box.
this is somewhat sentiment related, I'll give you advantage, so you can roll again, see if it's higher.
I feel like this is a good moment to see if I have calm emotions prepared.
You've really grown, Arne, as a player by not pressing that button. If only you weren't playing Olrin. So, Helen, as you look over to this weeping feminine form, there is a story that kind of stands out in your mind. The form of someone who is completely comprised of negative emotion, emotion that is the most purest of heartache. This force is seen and heard in tales of tragedy and is there for every fall that someone has from Grace.
Hmm.
They are known as Mildrafe, the Weeping Widow. And you can see, as the stories tell, she consumes the most saddest of sentiments and almost keeps them bottled up inside of her to be used in forms of treachery and deceit, claiming these
guessing not
tears and using
friendly.
them against their foe.
Very much not friendly?
Very much a malevolent, not so friendly entity, seen mainly
Right.
children's nightmare stories and such.
She's just gonna kind of turn around to everyone and like start trying to definitely kind of push the group forward. Just kind of.
And another point
This,
of order,
we don't want to deal with this.
I'd say that as well, this is probably already self-explanatory, but with a 24, this entity would be classed as a demon.
Yeah. And this is, I'm guessing, is like this is a big no-no, like we can't, like, judging by our current abilities, there's not much we could do against this thing, I'm guessing. Like,
Not sure.
yeah, okay. We're not risking it.
And if it bleeds, can
We
kill
can
it.
kill it.
I have the power of God on my side.
Yeah.
Anime hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah. I have the power of God and tears on my side. Okay, well, you
Yeah.
continue. You see that this creature, Mildrafe, is none the wiser of you coming past. You see that she is fixated on the sentiment and is continuing to babble to herself as she just consumes this sadness, which I assume at this point now for Helen has almost changed slightly. Less sad and more determined to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. This is fucked. She's not dealing with this. We are getting out of this situation.
You step through the main entrance, the main doorway. You're greeted by this beautifully large interior. Tall ceilings, large columns that hold it high in the sky. The tapestry and colors represent something of ornate class, something very high in society. However, the shadows which bulge from them have hidden many of its aspects. You can see staircases on both sides rising upwards to a higher platform. There are also statues of those same robed figures around this space, some seemingly unaware of what's happening. Not the same sort of expressions that you saw outside, where there was clearly a skirmish. In here, some walk side by side with a smile on their face, holding books in their hand. There is just this kind of odd feeling in this room, as though these people were unaware of what was happening around them. But you see that sentiment that still carries in the air, flooding and finding its way further past all of these people, and finding its way to a room that is just glowing red. You see this just bright red room, as though, to put it bluntly, you're looking at the doorway to hell. You're just seeing red, boom, shining through. It is very potent, and your eyes kind of have to adjust slightly. But then, as you kind of squint to look away, you find that the light isn't actually even light. It doesn't seem to shine. It just seems to be there, present. Your eyes aren't really affected by it, and it's there, it's present. A color, a hue is just over this hallway and originates further in.
Well, I guess we should knock before we enter. Shall I lead this encounter, I would say, or someone else wants to take over?
Well, go ahead. I doubt we can catch them by surprise.
Yeah, I mean the portals were closed, and there's that kind person at the entrance told us. That means that they are quite aware of us coming. All right then. Let's try to be friendly, and I will just knock on the door, and I will do this.
Okay. You begin to approach further down. The hallway is long and large, so it takes you a while to push through all of these people. As you do, I would just like, we'll say, Olrin, if you could roll a history check at advantage and a religion check as well. Both at advantage.
Okay. And religion.
Okay. Looking at the people as you walk past them and the architecture inside of the building this time, there are elements of it that begin to stand out to you. The building itself seems to be constructed by some other sort of material that is beyond you. It seems to be a almost melding of several components placed in to create the structure of this establishment. When you had first entered, it looked to be some sort of cathedral, a very almost Gothic in style, but having this very religious almost aspect to it. But upon entering and seeing further in, there is no symbology of any sort of religion. Instead, you can see almost the elements of different affinities of spell schools. You can see the runic symbols for conjuration, abjuration, emblazoned throughout this building. And with the people that walk through, they carry books by their side, written in languages that are all very distinct, some even unique, like ciphers of sorts. You kind of have an idea that this place was perhaps some sort of study, a school of magic learning, but something that isn't in the normal boundaries of what you've seen. In fact, this seems as though it's almost beyond. There's something slightly occult that you feel with this place, but not one that is eldritch or using a higher power. This seems as though a union of minds, of intellectuals trying to grasp knowledge in the world itself. And with these like ciphers and books and coded messages laid throughout, a very secretive sort of experience that they are going through. It almost seems like a prison in some aspects. You're noticing as you walk through the interior of this chamber, there is no real life. There's no color. There's no uniqueness. It's all very sterile. And although the people walk and discuss, their expressions are all very muted. There's no real smiles across their faces. Some grin, but they don't hold a smile in their face. It seems tacked on. Perhaps these people have never experienced emotion. A very strange environment that you found yourself in, and one that does not feel real. This isn't somewhere from where you're from, although the people here look exactly like you. There are dwarves, there are elves, there are humans. There are other races here as well. They are your people, but also not at the same time.
Can I try to imbue strands of my divinity into these statue-like people?
Okay.
Like, I don't just try to resonate with them, like basically checking them for their origin. Like Moradin made all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Are there discrepancies?
Okay. For this, I'll ask you to roll a wisdom check.
All right. Can I guidance myself?
Sure.
Now, one time when touching the statues turned out quite an unfortunate. Be careful.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, that
Ilya just had to jinx it.
I don't know. I remember some episodes.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oren, you try and reach out and basically find some link, some internal code, to put it one way, that kind of follows the line of divinity and how the world was created. But the stone that these people find themselves in, it leaves your hand cold, and you cannot even reach through into what was there, what will be there, what is currently in front of you. It is mute.
To be fair, it might be the best outcome. I don't know. Believe me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we might
I feel
stumble
like-
upon another villain of the campaign.
I feel like I'm missing some prime law here.
Yeah, I mean, we would get another chance, I believe, obtaining it.
Okay. As the rest of you are pushing forward, Axon leading the charge, as Ulring kind of begins to look around and takes a closer eye on the surroundings, you begin to notice ahead of you, Axon, that in that red light that shines with a kind of matte finish, there is a shadow. You see one individual looking either side, and you see other bits of mist begin to wrap around and try and enclose on them, and just watch as sparks of energy begins to fly off and almost break these clouds and disperses them into the air. You just hear these as they just are being almost cut through the air and pushed away. The silhouette of this figure is of Coril, but you don't know who that is. Oh, well, you did see him. You did see him in his
Well.
post horse form on the ground. He was there, but you weren't there, present for the session.
I wasn't there, so I mean, I thought my character wasn't there, but
No, your character was there. So you see the lively form of the insectoid that was Pineapple. You can see he's currently looking either side, and he springs off into a direction. And you see he seems to be in some sort of skirmish.
yeah, if I know who it is and I recognize him, I will start to, hurry and run towards him. I don't know if
All
I
right.
can help, but I will definitely try.
Okay, you begin to rush forward. The rest of the party follow suit. You run past vestibules. You see kind of enclosed areas to the left and the right, doorways and kind of closed off rooms, perhaps rooms of study, of learning, halls just continue to the left and right, but you continue in dashing forward. As you rush forward, what is the order of your arrival? Who is going in which order? Just so I understand who is where.
So we are running, but I'm lost.
Okay, Oren is last. Who is next after Oren?
I guess probably Helen.
Okay. So say Helen and Marie, Mayceli rather. That'll be second to last, by the way, Brooke.
Okay.
Or do you want to be in front?
No, second to last is fine.
Okay.
She's still kind of a bit out of it, so her reaction time's not the
Sure.
best right now.
And then that'll leave Axon and Cal. You okay with that, Ilya?
I mean,
Up at the front?
I would be the first, I think, because I.
All right.
By the
Oh,
way,
same.
just before anything happens, I'm guessing my crossbow is not usable until I get it fixed.
Only the kind of edge of the crossbow was cut off, but you can still use it. You will need to get it repaired at some point, though. It won't last too long. You basically lost one bolt, and a bit of it is damaged, so you just need to repair it or get a new one. But yeah, as all of you begin to rush in forward, Axon, you and Cal are kind of the first to see what's going on here. Where the room, this kind of hall, continued to stretch forward, you running towards the light, you can now see that it opens up wide, and almost incredibly so, like you've almost exited and found yourself in this forever stretching amphitheater, where it is just stretched out large space on the ground, almost in like a diamond-shaped form. And at the very back of it, you can see a tiered, almost seating area that rises upwards and very, very high in the air. There doesn't seem to be a roof here, just seems to be shadow up above. The red light that was illuminated in the middle, you can see is almost like a spiraling staircase of sorts that starts off in the central point, but then continues to rise upwards and creates this almost funnel system leading up into the sky, where the shadow seems to almost hang at the very end of it. You watch as there seems to be some fighting to the right of you. You watch as this insectoid, ant-like body of Kirill jumping around with these like praying mantis-like legs, jumping from one side of this field to the other, as these shadows begin to fly over him like clouds of condensed darkness. You can see each one of them wielding blades and light of red illuminating from their mouths or their eyes, trying to reach out and cut into him. But you watch as he almost jumps through them with a knife in hand, carrying daggers of all sorts of colors, as he's just kind of slicing through them, and they burst in this kind of plasma of energy. As he cuts through two of them, he lands back down, turns to the rest of you. I'm very confused at where we are at the moment. What is going on?
Pineapple, I finally found you. I'm quite as confused as you are.
Helen would just shake her head and goes, it seems like it was just us, and kind of looks around to everyone who was there. We will have to clarify some things later, and is just trying to scan, take in our surroundings.
You see, he kind of looks around. I remember you. He points towards Axon. You're my... No, I'm not going to say it. It is not Pineapple anymore. It is Koril Shazad. Okay? That is it. Final. And I would prefer if we were to continue this conversation perhaps outside of the domain of the demons. We are in a space that is truly outside of time and space, and we need to get out of here as soon as possible. As he's kind of gesturing around, Helen, you are keeping a wide eye on what's going on. With your passive perception, you can see that where the diamond kind of splits out and wraps around at the far end, you can see in this tiered system, there are several seats that have been arranged. You can see some that are larger, some that are smaller, all kind of in and below a larger chair at the far back. Each one of these chairs, not all of them, but most of them, are filled with some sort of strange-looking shadowed entity. Each one of these glow with red eyes. You watch as they all just sit there and look in your direction with a kind of rough estimation on how many seats you see available here. Not every one of them is filled, but there's around 11 of them that you can see. One in particular stands out more so than the rest. At the very back, larger chair than most, almost like a chair for a giant, a throne, if you will. You see a shadowy figure, large, hulking, grey of skin, whose eyes are not red like the rest of them, instead white, pitch white flames, as though the deepest of red is burned at such an intensity that it's turned white in color. You see as it just looks down, hunched forward, basically examining all that is taking place. He himself looks as though he is like one of those statues. Huge, big, and with this almost dark, black hand, like shadow itself, almost reminiscent of the shadow that hangs in the Fey realm. That is, the shadow keeps hand. You see, he flexes it with a claw at the end, and his skin, although it seems to be like stone, it shifts in that almost watery motion like the rest of the portals do that you've seen before. You see it almost wraps around the body, wraps around the face, horned creature with a large jaw at the back. You see it just kind of looks down and it's just eyes trained at all of you. You can hear conversations, laughter, almost dismissal from this crowd of demonic entities that are just watching further on at this display. Could you also roll, Helen, a perception check?
I'm guessing our little demon detectors are having a field day.
Oh, yes, they are.
Perception, you said?
Yes, please.
The 14s today, I guess.
With a 14, you notice something, but you are too distracted in this moment to kind of focus on it. You just see Kirill look at the rest of you. There is only one way out, and it is at the top of this spiral. Do not fall down it. We are running up now. And you see he just begins to rush as fast as he can up the side of this staircase that begins to wrap around up into the sky. What is everyone doing?
Chase after him.
We are running.
Kirill, but are you sure? Did you try to reason with them? Like, I don't know, talk to them before you...
Dylan's just gonna reach out and grab him and start pushing him up the stairs.
Yeah, I'd like to help.
We are leaving. We are running away.
As you are pushing Axon up, as Kirill just turns back to the rest of you, I've just seen myself turn into a horse, and I did not like it, and now we are here, so we are just running out of this place. We are not capable enough to take on 11 demons, let alone their spawn as well, as he just keeps running up as fast as he can. I'd like each one of you to roll initiative as you are running up this spiral.
Oh god.
Barry, come on, Granddad, back to the nursing home. We are leaving.
I might have to... Oh no, you've got it. Excellent. 15, 11, 14.
Should I do one for Cal as well?
Please do, yes.
Okay, where is initiative on this?
Can I just mention you've introduced Oren's two weaknesses, running and stairs.
Cardio is the main problem.
I can roll for Myceli if you want.
Okay, sure. I'll give you the character sheet.
someone
Cal has
rolled.
great initiative.
Configure ownership. Ilya. Oh yeah, you've already got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I already got it, but someone rolled, so I don't know.
I did it.
It's
yeah.
Not me. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go from the top. So we've got Cal with a 22. Then we have Axon, Ulrin, Helen, and Mayseely. All right, excellent. So as we start from the top, what I'm going to tell you now is that you have 3 rounds. You basically have to make 3 successful checks of your own description of how you begin to escape this space. Now, there will be things that will be thrown into every round, but we're going to go round by round to see how well you do and to see what occurs. Another thing to bear in mind is that things will most likely happen. So you can do a held action, that is a viable option. You can dash if you wanted to, and that may get you there quicker than normal. But you basically have 3 rounds to get out, or at least 3 successes. So we will start with Cal. So Helen, Brooke, you have control over Cal. You can see Kirill is currently rushing up as fast as he can up the front. As he reaches a kind of, because he's had a head start before you guys arrived, you see he gestures over to the end of these kind of like dark, shadowy pits, and he just shouts over, "There are more coming. They have spawned their own thralls. I don't know what they are. They are demon children. You will have to deal with them, or we can just try to run as fast as possible. But I will be very admissible of getting rid of them as soon as possible."
Okay. Are the stairs like kind of switchback like flights in a spiral, or is it like a round spiral staircase?
It's basically like a roundy one.
Okay. Is it like there's like space in the middle?
Correct.
Kind of?
Yes. So
Okay.
these hold just in thin air. There's no platform. There's no kind of struts. It is beginning at the bottom and then begins to spiral out as you get further to the top. So it gets wider at the top, almost like an upside down pyramid or a funnel.
Okay. And the area where they're coming is kind of up behind us, or are they like
Off to the
climbing up the
sides.
side?
They're
Okay.
basically flying towards you.
Flying?
Hmm.
Okay.
After Cal, it will be Axon's turn.
Okay, Cal's gonna keep moving, and kind of as he's moving, shoot like the one in the front and try to use Hail of Thorns to like kind of get the ones kind of there and then around it.
Sure.
So
For this, roll an attack roll.
okay. If I cast a spell, will it do it, or do I have to? Ooh. Okay. Actions. Bow. 1.
Bow. Oh, nice. That hits. So if you could roll damage as well.
And then for this.
Okay. All right. You see, so it's less about the damage, but if you do roll big damage, it will have an impact. So Cal essentially uses his turn to rush up as fast as he can, basically making cover fire for the rest of you to run past, creating this large pepper spray of thorns that just fire overhead and begin to slow down these creatures that they are trying to leave this hole and fly off in your direction, pushing them further down and further down. Excellent. Then we move on to Axon.
How far are those creatures from us?
They're about
Shadows?
80 feet or so.
Okay, 80 feet. So then I will run up to my speed towards Kirill, or I will just look at him and say, "Yeah, it's good to see you, like friend, and that you regained your memories." And I will hold my action to cast a cantrip. If those creatures or shadows will enter the 60 feet radius from us.
Perfect. All right. Then we move on to, we'll go for Ulrin. And give Brooke a chance to make sure they know what they want to do.
All right. Can I remember anything about, like, I don't know, demonic aversion to sunlight or something?
Yes. So one thing that is pretty clear is that most of these creatures are made out of shadow. You would know that the purest of daylight would be able to kind of hinder their ability to fight, sometimes even eradicating them altogether.
All right. Then I would like to move all my speed
Mm-hmm.
and then cast daylight. And basically, in a way that it covers the direction we are running into
Mm-hmm.
up to where we are now.
Okay,
Like,
so you kind of like cover that area up ahead.
Yeah, it's a circular stairway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then I can cast it roughly in the middle and hit the entire thing pretty much.
Yeah, correct. Okay, cool. So you basically create this magical aura to at least hinder some of these creatures if they got too close. As the light does shine in the center of this coil, you do see that from the stands, the seating area where all of these demons are sat and watching, you now see that some of that light actually shines further than you expected and causes some of these creatures to almost be fully seen. You see some of them, some creatures almost like half bisected. You see almost like two halves of a creature almost acting individually. Teeth on one side, talking to themselves, mutation, almost grotesque looking creature, now being seen for what it truly is as the shadows are pushed away from them. You also see creatures that are almost completely made of hooks that bend backwards and kind of its own body has this almost lively looking Slenderman appeal to it. And you see others as well that almost shine through this light, and you can see them for who they truly are. A lot of the time they kind of wince at it, but others just seemingly look past and are unaffected by it. So it seems that even this daylight that you produced has effect on some even stronger demons, but not all of them. So it's just useful information to have. Anything else you'd like to do?
I mean, I can't really do much with my bonus action.
Okay.
Do you allow prepared action with bonus actions?
No, because it takes up. No, because you have to use an action to hold an action. You can't hold a bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, and then we'll move on to Helen.
Okay. I think if there's anything. I am going to kind of keep moving up
Mm-hmm.
and basically try and position myself in a spot where, like, if someone looks like they're either about to be like bapped off or like are tripping, I can kind of try to maneuver to. I guess it doesn't really work because I'm kind of in the middle of the group.
If you want to say it this way, are you trying to help if anyone is pushed or dragged into the center or something? Because you could hold your action to do that. Okay.
Yeah, is basically what she's trying to do.
So you kind of you keep up with the pace of everyone else, but you hold back a little bit just to be able to catch and help out if it's.
And basically holding to do like. I will grab you if you fall. Please don't fall. I'd rather you don't fall. But she's just gonna. That's what she does.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, you just keep a watchful eye out. That's a good job. Then it's Mayseely. So, Leah, what would you like Mayseely to do?
Yeah, I mean, quite easy. And I don't think she has a lot of HP left. Yeah, just bolting and running.
Okay. Running as fast
Dashing
as they
well.
can, dashing.
Mhm.
All right, so that means that Maysili is at the front of the pack, leading the charge at this point as she just rushes through as fast as she can. Very good. Kirill will hold back alongside you, Helen, and essentially do the same thing. He's just going to look around. These creatures are nasty work. Just keep an eye out. I will hold back with Helen to ensure that anyone falls. We'll be able to bring them back up. So he's going to do the same as you. Now, as all of you are rushing up as fast as you can, you see that the larger demon at the back, who is watching with these white piercing eyes, you see his hand, which is completely made of this darkened shadow. See for a moment a flicker of red almost pumps through it and up the rest of his arm, like a heartbeat rushing through his entire body. And it almost displays faint cracks throughout. In this flash of red, I will need all of you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Dual mind. I have advantage on those.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a natural 20 on those. Easy.
oh. There's going to be a lot of natural 20s, I feel. I don't know why.
I can turn this around. I can just roll 3 net ones.
14 again. Jesus.
Just the 14s for Brooke today.
I don't know who I pissed off. But
Well, at least you managed to avoid the net 1.
true.
True. Okay.
Oh, these are not. Some
boy.
of these are real
Right.
not good.
So, as all of you are running up as fast as you can, some of you slower, some of you faster, doing all of your defensive and attacks and reactive actions, you begin to feel the presence of the actual spiral itself glow a red, a deeper red, and for a moment it almost has that same heartbeat flicker that had occurred on the demon itself. You then see below, in the very center of this spiral, it almost continue the path further down, and you watch as it seems to be like a road that continues to descend downwards and downwards, and where there is bits of stone on the ground to kind of create this terrain, this red light, this red spiral continues into a place where it's devoid of any sort of color and texture. The red spiral continues and continues down to a place that is only slightly illuminated, as you can see frozen in that space, holding the red light, a shadowy figure that is just buried deep, deep inside. And Maysili, Cal, and Helen, I would need 3 of you to roll a d20.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
I forgot.
I'll do the first one for me and the second one for Cal.
Mm-hmm. So
which one of those is good and which one of those is bad?
So who was the 24?
Helen, and the 5 was for Cal.
Okay. All right. For the rest of you, you watch as your 2 allies are washed with this red light. As you see, a part of them is almost pulled down into that center point. Like for a moment, like you can see their spirit is being pulled out of their body, but it then pulls itself back. but you can see their faces are gaunt, with an expression as though life has been sapped from them. Both Maceli and Cal both have one failure on their death save.
Ooh.
With Cal pushing back the attack, pushing back the enemies coming out of the hole from its attacks, you now begin to see them break out. They push out from the brambles, and you see these shadowy masses of just cloud. One of them just kind of spins around, screeching, and you watch as red light builds up in their hands, and they just begin to throw 2 attacks out. We're going to say that since they were being the reactive ones, Helen, you are being attacked by this, and we'll say that Kirill as well. So against you, Helen, there's a 15 hit.
Nope.
And then against...
Did they enter 60 feet radius from us? Or?
I'd say that the one that jumped out and firing doesn't, but the other one dashes straight towards you, so they will. But these attacks will miss. Same with Kirill, also miss. So yeah, Axon, if you want to roll that attack.
Need to double check what I need to roll. Range spell attack. And how do I do this?
Also, Helen, write down that you have 2 successes on your death save.
Oh, okay, yeah. 17, does it hit?
Yes, 17 does hit.
And then it will take 7 piercing and 5 necrotic.
Okay. With this card that you just fling out to the side, it whooshes through the air and it impacts into the side, and you watch it just kind of dissipate for a second. And you basically stops its entire momentum from getting it within range of anyone else. But you can feel that red light is draining all of you guys into the very center. But you continue to rush on nonetheless. You can hear more of these creatures are trying to emerge from different holes now, as more of them just begin to open up in different spots. As well, you begin to see that some of the demons further ahead, they begin to whisper to each other, and you watch as some of them begin to snarl in your direction, and you watch as the 2 forms, basically one person split in half, but they are 2 sentient beings. You see as they begin to fall onto their kind of one side, they almost begin to gallop towards you. They just begin to rush over as fast as they can. And you watch a few others begin to run over in your direction as well. Cal. It's Cal's turn as he starts his initiative. So that will be for Brooke. What would you like Cal to do? You are muted, by the way. There you go.
I'm guessing Cal didn't feel great when that happened.
No, something's... Yeah, he's not having a good time.
Cal is going to strategically try to run up ahead as to get a better vantage point on the things that are chasing us. So he's gonna try and run real fast up the thing.
Okay, cool. He's just gonna dash.
Yeah.
All right, as far
Basically,
as he can.
like whatever
He's
the
nearly...
fuck that was doesn't feel good, and he doesn't really know what that is. Therefore, get away from it, and then I can shoot it better soon.
Mm-hmm. As he begins to wrap his way up, it does take more effort as you do get to the higher parts of the spiral. So it takes more of this kind of running around, and you make less distance, if that makes sense, from the creature, because as you do a full kind of momentum around, you're basically in the same spot as you were before, but just higher up. But he dashes as fast as he can. He can now see this kind of gathering of dark energy, which seems to be almost like the same entranceway, the exits that you had found before. You see he's just kind of like that in front of him at the moment, but he is feeling that kind of that weight in his shoulders. But that's Cal's turn. So, Axon, what would you like to do?
Okay. How many creatures are within 60 feet of us? Like, are they coming?
Just one. They are going to be coming out soon, yes.
So, who is right now the last one, like, in that staircase?
So the last one is between Helen and Kirill.
They stay.
Yeah.
And how far am I from them? Like,
You're not too far away, maybe about 10 feet, 15 feet.
Yeah. Who is the most hurt out of those two? Like Helen, I believe, right?
Helen.
Kirill is almost
Yes.
like fresh. So I will, I will take my rosaries in my hands and like draw a bit of blood from my hands, and it will turn into silvery in color and like more like mercury in shape, and it will slowly but surely flow to Helen and like form like a little string between both of us, as I will try to cast warding bond between us both.
Okay.
So we will take +1 to AC and saving throws and resistance to all damage. But instead, I will take the half.
Yeah,
damage.
you basically share the damage.
Yeah, but it's improved. But I need to double check what it like improved.
Okay. And you also move as well.
Yeah, I will move. Oh yeah, and actually, when you cast, you can increase the power of bond. I increase. If either bonded creature makes an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throws, both creatures makes the save. If either passes, both pass save. If both fail, both are affected by the condition.
Lovely. Sounds good.
Yeah, I can just link it.
Okay.
And
Sounds
then
good.
run up there.
All right, so you keep running up. Cool. Oren, you're next. The daylight is still there, and you're seeing it's now that these creatures are beginning to fly closer to you, they are beginning to kind of wince slightly, and you see that their vision is being impaired. But you do notice that those other demons that were running on the ground now, they are fast, and they are going to gain some traction.
All right, then. In preparation for more saves, I'd like to cast Bless on the entire party.
Excellent.
But not the entire party. I can target at most 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave out Helen because she's already at advantage.
Yep. So that's going to be for Cal, Axon, Olren, and Mayseely, the 4 of you.
Well,
Okay.
it's a good idea. If I save, then Helen also saves.
Damn.
Yeah, good point. Technically, I should give it to Helen then, because she can save for you, right?
It's either of us. I mean, but both have advantage, I believe, on wisdom saves. But, yeah, and right now, he has also. Yeah, actually, I also have all the advantage on those saves.
Okay, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay. Then, as a bonus action, how close are the demons, and how big can I make a spiritual weapon?
How big would you like the weapon to be?
Like, honestly, at this point, a comically large hammer. It doesn't really block them, but they don't know.
No, sure. Which demons are you heading towards? The ones that are running on the ground now from the kind of watch point, or the ones that are coming out of the hole?
The ones on the watch point are further up, right?
Yes, but these 2 demons that are running now, the bisected ones, they are fast. They will probably be getting to you soon.
Okay, then I'd like to go for those first.
Okay, cool.
And
with everything that's been happening, Arne, if you could just roll a D100, please.
all right.
Ilia's face.
Yeah, because I know what it means.
Okay. For this one kind of strike, as you produce a large hammer, there is a sound of a hammer hitting a steel anvil. You just hear this ting resonate throughout. As you cast the weapon for but a few seconds, you watch as it grows about 20 times the size of what you had conjured, and you watch it begin to sweep its way towards these two demons. Now, for the damage, it's typically what, 2d6?
I think it's 1d8 plus my modifier.
1d8. If you could roll 1d8 plus your modifier and times it by 10, please.
All right, d8 plus 5. Oh wait, plus
Yeah, don't forget the brackets.
6.
Otherwise it will be 80.
Yeah, no, I'm just rolling this normally and then doing the rest of the math in my head. Also, it's plus 6. Does it add because it's a spell attack?
Yes.
All right, that's plus 6. That's 11. That's 110.
110 damage. You watch as the hammer begins to sweep its way towards these two demons, and as it does, you cast a spell, and for a moment, all of you can see this huge divine figure of a god just wielding the hammer and pushing it through these two demons as they are just carried with it. And you watch as the full swing finishes, these almost like demonic dogs, as they were acting like, begin to fling themselves into the side of the wall, where you just hear them thud hard. Bits of the stonework begin to crack, and you just see them embedded into the side and fall limp onto the ground. As the hammer continues with its full swing, you watch as it fully dissipates, as well as that split image figure of Moradin fades completely. In your head, Oren, you just hear, "You created the doorway so I could come and help you. Do it again in the future, and I will do my best." And you just continue forward on your full movement. Helen.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out loud, "Ah! Praise the Creator!" Raising my arm up high, jubilant, and then still running the fuck away.
Yeah, just a quick praise. Huzzah! That's my guy. That's my G. Cool. Then we'll move on to Helen. What would you like to do,
Given
Helen?
I just saw the massive avatar of Moradin,
Yeah, second time today.
I'm gonna make the executive pulverize the thing that was chasing us. So it's probably better to take that advantage and continue to run. So I'm also just
Dashing
got
full speed.
this. That was great. Yeah, dashing full speed.
Perfect. You just begin to run and run and run as fast
I'll
as you
like
can.
load the crossbow as I run up, kind of just have it ready, but just sprint up there. 'Cause
Yes.
that felt weird last time, and I don't want more of the randomness.
Cool. You rush up. May Seely's turn. What does May Seely do, Ilya?
Well, I think she will still like continue running because I don't. I can check, of course, her spells, but I don't think she has
Yeah, the only thing they have is Eldritch Blast, really. So just continue to dash, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
well. Maybe Misty Step is a bonus action. If it will like really, something try to jump on her, she will try to Misty Step, but I don't think first one.
Okay.
The last spell slot, that's why I would not actually use it.
That's fine. With the dash, she is the first one to arrive at the top. You can see she's now standing there by this kind of like shadowy doorway at the top of the spiral, exhausted like Cal as well, holding her presence there, looking out for the rest of you. She'll just shout, this does seem like the way to go out, because I don't see any other way from up here.
Well, the only other way is to go down, but I don't think it's kind of good way to go.
You think?
I mean, you can certainly try if you want.
No, I'm good. That's Mayceli's turn. Kirill will do the same thing he was doing before. He'll move and act in a reactive manner to try and catch anyone if they try and fall in. Then we reach the bottom of initiative. So as all of you have begun to run up as fast as you can, this divine presence whipping through and taking out some of these demons, you can see a couple of sniggers from the audience as one of the members just kind of begins to shout out, "Scalas, Plathin! You are weak and pathetic! No wonder you are just dogs in the real world." You just hear that shout out through the crowd. You don't know where it came from because all of you are just booking it as fast as you can. And then you see the larger figure up above look over with a kind of steely glare at all of you running up the spiral. And you see his hand, the shadowed hand, begins to reach out and grip with a tight fist. And you watch as he begins to turn his hand in a clockwise spiral, and the swirling pattern on the ground you feel begin to shift and move. And I'm going to need each one of you to roll a strength saving throw.
Plus 1d4 because bless.
Because bless.
So, with us, as long as one of us succeeds, both of us succeed?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. If we both fail, then we both fail.
Yeah.
My god.
Okay. And then for Cal and Mayceli as well, please.
That's cool. I always forget.
Okay. All right. So, as all of you are beginning to try and grab onto the side, there's nothing to hold on to. So you're just using your own feet, trying to not fall off of this balance board. Some of you slide off to the side and begin to grab onto the edges of this ethereal physical light that has been displayed in the spiral pattern. Mayceli, Exon, and Olrin, I need the three of you to roll a d20.
Wait, but Helen passed the save, right? So if
true.
If either passes, both pass the save, so I don't need to.
That's right. That's right. But it's a strength. Does that work for strength saves, or is it just mental stats?
Okay, if either one and. Yeah, it's just mental.
Just mental.
You're right. Yeah, it's just mental because it's like both creatures makes the save.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be d20 from those three.
Yep. So first for me, and second for Mayceli, I believe, right? Mayceli also failed.
Yes.
I didn't fall. Oh yeah. Oh.
Oof, if it was in that
Like
one. Oh my god. Okay. And Axon, you failed. Okay. So you all begin to feel this kind of platform shake and move. And those of you who are beginning to kind of like slip and fall, you see this almost energy of just almost like a miasma, like a sort of heat wave, just push you off to the side and keep you centered in the platform. You can see that Kirill is currently trying to maintain everyone's footfall as to not fall off. As he is doing that, though, you do watch as he himself also has that life force drained out of him, and you watch as he did fail the saving throw, but it does not fall any further than before. So that is those three. As well, you begin to see the spiral almost shift downwards. It now almost becomes like a treadmill of sorts, where it is beginning to spiral and move in a downward trajectory. So you're basically running up a moving platform. This is now your third attempt to escape. Most of you are nearly at the exit. There is just a small hurdle in the way. But before we get to your turns, you see that the shadowy entities that are flying begin to encroach closer. 3 of them fly up within the light, and you see they begin to scratch out towards 3 of you. To determine who they attack, we're just going to roll. So we'll do a d6, and we'll see who it is. So a 6 would be Mayseely. Next one is Cal, and also Mayseely. So
come on.
who attacks against
Almost
Mayseely?
She's got a lot of hit
Leave her
points, right?
alone.
She's got so many
No.
hit points.
No, and
She's
she
got
has
so
the
many hit
lowest
points.
AC.
Right.
But she has so many hit points. She's fine. She's fine. She'll be fine.
Just
We
gonna
didn't
roll
kill our
the
character
character.
when she wasn't here. It's fine.
All right. That's going to be a miss. That's going to be a 15.
It's Kel, right? Against Kel. Or
This is against Mayseely.
oh yeah, that will hit. Yep.
Okay, so 1 against Mayseely. I'll do 2 more against Mayseely. Natural 20. And that one will also hit. So
just
3 hits against Mayseely, and
one
then we'll do
second.
Cal.
Okay,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have
It's
a
against
shield.
Mayseely. I thought it was too.
Yeah, also.
Against Cal, those 2 aren't going to hit because this AC is too high. So 3 hits against Mayseely. One of them is a crit. So first strike is going to be 12 points of slashing damage.
Yeah, I mean, if that will be all the damage like this, yeah, I
Okay,
wrote it
now
down.
comes the crit.
Yep.
That's a 1 and a 3, so that's going to be for 8, 13 points of damage.
Yeah. Is it? Does it happen simultaneously or?
Yeah, all of these attacks are going to happen at the same time.
Okay. So yeah, you can continue, but she's already down. Just so you know.
Okay. Next strike, that's going to be a doodle-doodle-doo. So that's 4. It's going to be 8 points of damage.
Mhm.
And then that's 5, 10 points of damage. It's not over her half, so she is still alive. Since all of this
No,
was
it's basically it needs to be like double the maximum, I think. Or
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So, but you
So she's not
almost
out.
reached it, I would say.
Okay. So Mayseely does fall.
Yep.
Do bear in mind that she has 1 failed
Yes.
death save already.
Yep.
But she does not gain any from this plethora of attacks. But she is now surrounded by a couple of enemies. whilst that is happening, you can see that all of these cloud demons that had attacked into your teammates, their bodies are beginning to crack in the daylight. You can see almost hardened areas that seem almost like vulnerability spots across their body. So they will be easier to break now that they are in this light. The one that was outside of the range is going to make a ranged attack, and we're going to determine this with a d6 once again. So that's going to be Helen. So Helen against you, we're going to go 2 attacks. Just roll it on here because I can't bothered. Natural 19, and that's going to be an 11, which will miss. So 1 hit, and that hit will be for 6 points of this is force damage.
She takes half, and I take.
Okay, so it's 3 each.
Okay.
That's their turn. They can't do anything else. Top of the turn is to Cal. So Cal is pretty much almost there. He just needs to walk up. But currently, the exit is blockaded by 2 of these cloud demon entities who've just knocked out Mayseely.
Oh. So he couldn't get through right now, even if he wanted to, right? Because the things are basically blocking the way.
It is impeded, yeah.
Okay. If Cal attacks, Cal gets 2 attacks, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Doesn't have a... Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Zephyr Strike. Bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to move immediately, right? Well, Cal doesn't have to move immediately, right? He can attack and then move. It's just movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks, yes?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. How far is Cal from, like, getting through the exit?
He can get there within his movement speed.
Okay. Dragging someone is half speed, right?
Yes.
And would you say it'd be an action for him to, like, pick up someone?
Depending on how the rolls went, I would allow it to be... Well, you've already used your bonus action, so yeah, it would have to be your action.
So could he run up, grab her, and pull her through? Because his, like, walking speed is now 60.
Yeah.
So does he have enough
100%.
movement to go up there, grab her, and, like, drag her through?
Yeah, sure. So what would need to happen, though, is for Cal to expend the use of this spell, because it is whenever you basically hit or miss. So he would forgo hitting or missing, and he would gain that extra burst of speed, but then the spell would be gone. So it would be
but
grab.
his movement doesn't provide opportunity attacks with the spell, so he could just run in. Theoretically, they shouldn't be able to hit him for moving, grab her, and drag her
then
out.
Pull back with the spell. Yep, that works for me.
Okay.
All right,
This is the plan.
All right, cool. You grab. You basically see Cal run through, cast a spell around them. Energy, this wind, this fresh current of wind begins to flow around them. They roll forward, grab Mayseely on the roll, and then with this kind of kick of their heel, a gust of wind pushes the 2 of them back, into this cave, this hole in the air, and the two of them are gone. We do not have to worry about Maysili nor Cal anymore.
People with death saves are, for better or worse, out of the worry at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
No, but
My
she still needs
apologies
to.
if that was a bad choice.
He still needs to do like saves, right?
Correct.
But at
Um,
least we don't know of anything actively hitting her.
And if she falls through that portal and takes some damage, it's I think 2 death saves because it's like or
Okay.
1 at least. No, it's 1 fail.
It is one, yeah. It's only if it's a plunge
Yeah,
strike.
melee. Yeah.
Okay, well that's Cal's turn. Maysili and Cal are out of the battlefield. They completely disappear through the cave. It is now Axon's turn.
Okay, can I reach the portal in my running or walking speed?
If you were to dash, you could, but it is impeded by 2 creatures at the moment. Unless you want to try and Misty Step through.
I don't have it.
Oh.
I would definitely love to. I don't think I
You could try and risk it, take the attacks of opportunity, and just rush past them. There is also that.
I have enough HP to tank the opportunity attacks. You could try to prep action, let me tank the opportunity attacks, and then dash through.
No, I can take them as well, don't worry.
Never mind, yeah, I forgot you're full life, pretty much.
Yes. I just took like 3 damage. Like...
I just love the idea of Aura just going, wait. Just barrel through them like a fucking...
Remember, I take half of what you take as well.
No, it's only one way, don't worry. It's not like I transfer, it's
No,
basically
I'm pretty sure
you
warding
transfer.
bond is both ways, is it
I
not?
think it's both
No.
ways.
While the target is within 60 feet of you, it gains +1 bonus to AC and saving throws, and it has resistance to all damage. Doesn't make each time it takes, you take the same.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
resistance,
normal,
but I take the same because it's the half. So basically, I take the half.
Okay.
Just
It's an
but,
extra special one.
Yeah.
yeah, but if we separate it by more than 60 feet, then it's over. So basically, if I go through the portal, then Helen acts after me, right? So I will. Yeah, I will actually try to run and like dash and take in attacks of opportunity right before the Helen try to dash and goes. Yeah, that makes sense. So more or less, we try to synchronize and exit. So she will not lose that +1 and bonus it.
Sure thing. But since you are kind of taking on the brunt of attacks, I will make the attack of opportunity against you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 17 to hit.
I misses.
21.
Yeah, that hits.
By how
14.
much? Stop, by how much?
21 by 2.
Okay, then give me a second, I have to figure out...
Oh, actually, no, you don't need to. I have a reaction, right? Thank you for reminding. I will just grant me +5, so it doesn't hit.
Shield.
Yeah, something like that, but it's more like I foresee that attack and evade just like... Yeah, because I have this fate reading, it gets me wisdom modifier to... I can add wisdom modifier to my AC, so basically +5, and it's 24 AC. Yeah, so it doesn't hit. Thank you for reminding me, Arne.
Damn. Okay, so Axon, do you go through the doorway, or are you going to wait there for the others to jump through as well?
Yeah, we'll
so basically
wait.
Timing it up.
Yeah, we'll wait for others.
All right, cool. Then Ulrin, it's your turn. You're going to do the same, dash up as fast as you can to the entrance.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Helen, you going to do the same?
Yes, we are getting out of here.
Okay.
We are running.
Helen, that odd feeling that you had at the very beginning of entering this room, it now becomes clear. Since this daylight shines in this room and most of the shadows kind of push back from some of these demonic entities, you see that one stands fairly clearly in this podium and the seating arrangement of these demons. a feminine female figure that you know all too well, sat there, spots you, and locks eyes. And
How far away is she?
hundreds of feet. But the silhouette of her is undeniable. And you see there is this scowl look she has as she sees you up there at the top.
Can I... She just kind of look over at her
Mm-hmm.
and chuckle and just say in Sylvan, despite the fact that she's so far away, just look directly at her as she's stepping back through the portal. I know what you are. In a very sing-songy kind of way.
Okay. As all of you are stood there by the exit, Kirill runs up behind, follows suit, jumps back with his hind legs, and you watch as he pulls out two of these bright red daggers from gauntlets that he has on down his arm, and he just slices down into the ground, and you watch as the spiral itself begins to crack all the way down, and you watch as the faint red line that he has drawn across it breaks and shatters the entire spiral as all of you are pushed into the cave and you are no longer in this space. The last things you hear is the hole beneath where the spiral was descending down into a shadowy figure close up and become solid once again. The spiral red staircase broken, shattered, as you fling back into this dark, cavernous hole behind you. And then you all wake up. You find yourselves waking up, looking around you, and you see people you don't know, people you recognize, and a darkened room that resembles the same place in which you had gotten rid of Pineapple's curse, who is known as Coral Shazad. But you've made it back. And I think we'll pick it up from there next time.
Yeah, before we...
It only took all of time and space and history, but we're back at Comic-Con, guys!
Just before we end the session, I would like to heal the mycelium because I don't know what
Sure thing.
I did roll right now, but I think
You rolled
an
an 18, and
Oh,
she
okay.
had 2 successful saves.
Oh, really?
So she is full. Yeah, she had
Yeah.
1 failure, 2 successes, so
But
3 successes. She's
Because I
fine.
don't know it, so I will still...
You heal her, she's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're surrounded by all these people, but we'll pick that up next time. So you've made it out alive, guys. Congratulations. Fucking horses, man. Fucking horses.
But yeah,
Okay,
Don't
so
trust them, don't like them.
So who's ready for round 2 with Apple?
Shit.
No!
No. See you next time.
Bye!
Bye bye.
See ya.
Fucking hell.